why toys and shit was just better, in the 80s, like when we were kids, like 80s and the 90s, and Christmas was just better. You got cool shit like nowadays, kids they get like the little Burberry scarf and the little Gucci bag I can have right here, where when we were kids, we got shit we got shit like this, you know.
Yeah, that's
We
pretty cool.
we got shit like fucking man at arms,
I remember I remember the elves were making that shit back in the day, you know? I
we
remember
got
that.
we got Casey Jones, you know. We you know
Yeah.
we got shit like this, kids today, they're ungrateful. Like we got a glorified toaster, and
Yeah.
what do kids get nowadays? What do they get? They get like a year
Flash.
subscription for a year subscription for TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But
No,
but
it's it's it's
we had all the cool shit.
it's grade toys with a big stamp on, buy me for a ridiculous amount. Yeah, it doesn't
Absolutely.
even. And now the toys that we had back in the day, and even before our time, I mean, they were making like toxic toys, like kids can actually have toxic fumes. Yeah, man.
Dude, like kids would lick him and they'd turn off the lights and their head would glow green.
Yeah, they would have darts and on the side of the box it just said don't throw it at someone's. That was it. That was like the warning, you know.
Yeah, I know. Like in the US, they had those what they call like lawn darts, garden darts. It was like these huge like metal arrows that you could like,
Yeah.
it's like great, let's go kill someone.
Right.
Merry
So
Christmas.
I think so by the time they got to us, our generation, I think they figured it out at its best. And now it's just make money. It's just garbage. Yeah.
See what I loved back then about toys was even if it was like crappy toys, you felt like they were trying out a concept. Like they said, okay, let's take a bet. Let's put our money on this and see if it works. They had like, and there was a ton of shitty toys, when we were kids. Like with action figures, I was an action figure kid, and they had like. What they had like we never had those in Denmark, but I remember I saw the commercial and I thought they were horrible. Like it was like these hologram knights or something. So it's like,
Yeah.
like they had something on their chest, and then you could
Yeah.
activate like some weird like light hologram thing. Did,
Like
did
like
you
a
ever?
character, but
Yeah,
more cooler.
yeah. But nowadays, I just feel like, I remember when I got my son and he started getting to the age where I thought like, oh man, now it's time for action figures and 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 I went down to the toy stores and they just had these like so it was when Marvel was peaking. So everything was Iron Man and Captain America. And I would just stand there and I would look at those figures and I'd be like, what is this crap? It just felt like this cheap, like there was no articulation. The paint job was horrible. The box art was terrible. I remember when we were kids, man, when we get a He-Man figure, we'd be like, just the box art itself was fantastic.
Yeah. Especially on the bigger sets. Because
Yeah.
they had more picture to work with to make it like even more eye catching. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember like one toy I always wanted and I never got for Christmas was Mask. Remember those? They were
Mask
like
like Jim.
no, no, no. It was like it was somewhere cross between Transformers and Action Force, like G.I. Joe. So it was something like these
Ash.
characters, no mask. Like they all had these like helmets, like these masks they could
Yeah.
put on, but then they had like vehicles that could transform into like they had like a car and the doors would flip up and it could fly and they had like motorcycles that could fly. I thought that stuff was dope, but they were really
They did.
hard to get.
Didn't they do a
Sorry?
close up on? Didn't they do a close up on the characters of the show when they jump in their vehicle and it was like this kind of American Japanese manga?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then when the cars would transform, they'd make like some noise similar to Transformers. They they'd do
Uh,
like some effect and they'd like fly off. But the
right.
box art was like I remember because there was a neighbor kid that had him. His dad would go to the U.S. all the time and he would bring home like these exotic toys. This kid he had like Rambo figures, Force of Freedom. He had the Ghostbusters figures. and he had all the mask figures, and I was like, oh, this is like amazing.
Did he did he steal them from that kid?
No, I tried, but I knew I'd get caught somehow. It was too obvious.
Get on Santa's naughty list. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Don't want
exactly. I don't want to get on your naughty list. You got.
to. I'll shit in your fucking, I'll shit in coal and put sticks in your sock.
So tell me, Santa, what toys are popular these days? What are you creating at the workshop with your little
I
elves?
mean, I hate to give some free PR out there in the world, and kind of,
Mm,
It doesn't get, extra money for
no.
free PRs. Why don't we just say it probably comes from the eastern side of the world,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just put a shit stamp on it.
You can't
It's like
compete with
just
Timo.
no, it's just children labor. I have the elves doing it, so it's anti-racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
You got
where's
the
it
elves.
at now? So where's it at now? Do you feel like you're competing against social media? Yeah, I mean,
I'm children's warehouses out there on the east. Those kids can make fast toys, man. You know what I mean?
mhm.
My guys, they have little hands. They don't move fast enough. You know what I mean?
Did you just do
But
like
we'll
wooden
get this.
horses? Dude,
Oh,
this,
that's a funny.
this is my this is my 10th episode, and who would have thought that for my 10th episode anniversary, I would have Santa on my podcast.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Thomas. Pleasure.
Yeah. So how is
Down.
it? Have I been a good
I'd like
boy
to get.
this year?
You have.
Mm,
You won. You have. I saw your list. I have it
mm,
here. Just checking twice. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I know
You,
there's some Wolverines out there, some Deadpools or something you're looking for.
yeah. Yeah.
Figure it
Yeah.
out. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But first, I'd like
You.
to. There's a little bit of an issue we have.
Mhm.
In we got to crack that. We have an
Uh,
imposter that's kind of he goes by the name of Tomte.
yeah.
It's kind of crapping on my neighborhood around here. Yeah, like to get down.
Kontinisan.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is my territory coming in
Mm,
from Finland, so close to the borders, and some guy, some imposter,
mhm.
disguised himself in Tomte.
What the
I
fuck?
mean, what he on the 23rd, right in the evening, right?
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
still flying around the world with my reindeers, and Fucko's already knocking on people's doors. He's so early. Is it true that he comes in on the 23rd at night? So on the 24th in the morning, all the Swedish kids already have their stockings full of candies and gifts. Is that true?
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it is that it's clearly that he's out competing you. You got to work faster, dude.
No, it's like this, right? If you see it like this, if he's there on the 23rd and then on the 24th in the morning, the kids already have their stocking full. And then the bastard comes around in the afternoon, right after Kalanka. What do you have, white privilege? What is it? What does he come twice? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. And, and then he has the packages and in his duffel bag, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And not once in every single Sweden's house, there's no gifts around the base of the tree. Not
No,
once.
no,
So
no.
what's the sake of the tree? Because Tomte isn't he like a garden gnome or an elf from the farmer and from the forest? So he gives you a gift for taking care of the animals in the forest, right?
Mm. But
Yeah, but then you have a
yeah,
fucking tree in your living room down. That's not really global warming friendly, is it?
but tell me, like, see, what I don't get is it
Uh,
seems like nobody can agree on where you are from because the Swedes they say you come from Finland.
Finland.
The Danes say you come from Greenland.
They're liars.
The American says you're from the North Pole. And yeah, I
No,
don't know. No, no. You're from
it's
the
easy. It's
Hollow
easy.
Earth.
It's easy for my team. It's easy for the team to get around. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just a lot. Finland's easy. We skip most of the world, like China.
Yeah,
Those we just skip those bastards. They're really quick. So when
yeah.
you skip the Asian country, and then when you get to the Middle East, you skip that as well. Most of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even jump on the roof. I'm afraid I might fall through. You know what I mean? We just throw the packages out of the sleigh as we're flying by. And once we get to Europe, then we start landing on roof. But I mean, their houses are made out of sand and bamboo.
In
Santa
Europe.
falls through that, concussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever, if someone had bamboo up his ass, it might look like a popsicle. You know what I mean?
But I'm not
Not good.
what are you saying that Europeans got houses made out of bamboo?
No. They got brick. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying bamboo from the, Asia.
But
Those
weren't you
cultures
gonna
over there.
uh-huh,
I'm just
okay, yeah,
pretty.
okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
but bamboo is pretty strong. I mean it should be able to hold your fat ass. No?
those guys are they're tricky.
Uh-huh.
Special.
Yeah.
Can't trust.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well,
They're on the
that
naughty list. They're on the naughty.
so so all of Asia is on the naughty list.
That's just the way.
What? Yeah, well, then I can see
Yes.
that definitely makes your job a bit more easy because if you gotta skip Asia and the Middle East, dude,
Skip it.
you're scot-free, man. It's just that'll take you what, like 2.5 hours, and you're home for eggnog and some lussebulle.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We're hitting roofs. We're doing Asia. Skip
Mm,
that. Middle East. Skip that. Straight to Europe. If we just kick
yeah.
on doors, make it happen. And then once we get to the West, it's easy. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, so, but I kind of feel like there's a bit of lack of enthusiasm, and I wonder if that maybe has something to do with you know the Asian market taking over and you know out competing you. Just you know, could it be?
Not happening. It's not. It's just not happening.
No,
Not a chance.
not on your
Not a
watch.
chance. Oh, yeah, not on my watch, pal. I was just wondering, you guys open in Sweden gifts on the 24th, right?
Mm, in the
Yeah,
evening, preferably.
that's yes, preferably, yeah.
Yeah, sort
You've
of.
never waited until until the following morning, like on the 25th when I dropped off all the packages on the 24th at night. I mean, technically, someone got there before me. You know what I mean?
I'll let you in on something that's even worse. And it has come to my knowledge that in Sweden, it is not uncommon that kids will actually be allowed to open their presents on the 24th in the morning. Because it's you know it's too much for them. The pressure of having to wait all day will give them long-lasting traumas. So God forbid that they would have to wait, you know, whatever 6 hours to open their presents.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
But then but when the kids open their gifts in the afternoon so late to bedtime, I mean, how would it feel to be a child and then you open a gift and then 2 hours you got to go to bed? If you wait until the 25th, they have all day to play with their toys. So in Sweden, it's practical. It's possible to say that every kid in Sweden cries on Christmas Eve. Yeah, man. All right, did you open your gifts? Yep. Oh, off to bed. And then the kids go, oh, Papa, Mom, I want to play with my gift. Nope, off to bed. I mean, if you just would have waited until I got there, the kids just had to wait until the 25th, like everybody else in the world. You
Okay,
guys are jumping
so
the gun again. Yeah, man.
see, no, 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 no. I think there's an imbalance there because I, me, for example, as a child, right? I would get my presents in the evening on the 24th, and I would be playing with them, and I was so happy, and I'd go to bed, and I'd be so excited about all the stuff I got, and then the next morning it was like, yeah, man, I got to get back to these awesome gifts, right? Now,
Mm.
had I been like a little American kid that just woke up at 4 in the morning and bolted down the stairs and tore up the whole damn thing, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be bored out of my skull with these presents. But and then that's it. But by getting them on the 24th in the evening, you go to bed and you have that longing. You're missing these awesome gifts and you can't wait till the next morning when you get to play with them again. So I think it actually
Mm.
it holds more value for the Christmas present. And I'll tell you a thing that made it even worse for me because so I'm actually a Catholic. And on Christmas Eve, we would go to church. So I would get some, let's say, we got the one year we got the Nintendo for Christmas. And you can imagine sitting there getting your brain exploded by Super Mario and Duck Hunt. It was unreal. I had never seen anything like it in my life. And I was just instantly addicted to it. And then, an hour later, my mom goes, well, off to church. And I would have to sit for mass in the Catholic Church. And I just, being 8 years old, it was the worst possible thing ever.
That was the
24.
24th. You didn't go
Yeah.
to church on the 20th?
No. So well, I think
No.
the Catholics, they have the midnight mass, so you could technically say that it goes from the 24th to the 25th, but they would, for logistic reasons, they would have a mass earlier in the evening, so they wouldn't have people driving there drunk out of their minds and barfing up Christmas food at 12 o'clock in the church, man. Jesus, yeah.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean,
Jesus,
and
Jesus,
we
he's
make
our man. If
valid.
he can't do it, nobody can. Go, Jesus.
It, so, I mean, we make valid points, but I mean, I'm just gonna have to stick to the culture here. Movies are basically the timeline and the unwritten rules of Christmas, and I think if we just follow the movie, in some countries that jump too early or are a little bit too behind, movies, for example, like Home Alone being such an iconic one. I mean, if we do it the Swedish way, then his mom would have came on Christmas Eve and
Yeah.
not on Christmas morning to make the movie that much more special. So that's what I mean about it's the symbolic of Christmas morning is great because if you found forgiveness or repent on the 24th, it's not over yet. So again, the movie set the plot, but also set the rules. And I think Sweden is jumping the gun a little bit too fast as always. You know, you're stepping out of line. It's like you're cutting in line.
But
Everyone's following the rules, and Swedes got excuse me. I'm first. I mean,
but didn't you say Swedes love
cut.
lines?
Yeah,
Love
they don't
lines.
mind. They love lines. They don't like cutting them either. You know what I mean?
No.
That's why they love lines.
But the whole using Home Alone as a reference to sort of underline your point. So what are you trying to say? That if Kevin McAllister's mom had made it home in the evening of the 24th instead of the 25th in the morning, th- all would not have been forgiven? I mean, the only thing that would have changed would be the fact that Kevin's mom would have been basically saving his ass from fighting against the burglars. That's it, you know.
No,
But
that still has to happen. No, that still has to happen. The point is that when the burglars got caught from the neighbor next door, um, he had to clean the house. You know what I mean? And then when he went to bed that night, he saw a shooting star, and he wished upon that star for
oh,
his
that's
mom to
true.
come home for Christmas.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the star is a symbolic of the Christmas tree. Hence the North Star, hence the shooting star, hence the one time of the year you get to wish upon a star if you see one on Christmas Eve, and then Santa will come, and I'll be there. I
You'll be
will,
there.
I
You
will, I will be there. You know what I mean? So that's the point. Damn it!
so if so what you're telling me is if I go outside on the 24th in the evening, on the evening, and I look up to the sky and I see a shooting star, and I go like, I wish
Mm,
Santa was here. And don't forget, this is Danish and Swedish Christmas. So the 24th, at that point, I already got all my gifts. So, and I already got all my Christmas food
mm.
and everything. But I go outside, to let out some gas, have a few farts and a couple of burps, standing outside, getting some fresh air. I'm seeing a shooting star, and I go, man, I wish Santa was here. Are you telling me that you will be there on the day after with even more gifts?
I I will be there with gifts the next day. You will see gifts on the 25th if you're not on the list,
Okay,
on the naughty list.
okay, okay.
You make that, big guy.
So
Make that.
so 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 you're
I'll
so
be
you're and you're absolutely sure about this. So it's not something. There's not like a trick to this. So I go out and I wish upon the star, and then you show up the next morning with a sock full of coals, and you
the only
beat the living shit out of me like
the only
Gomer Pyle
trick.
style.
The only trick is the man that's the imposter that got to the house before me on the 24th. That's the trick. It's like it would be like, what if like this? What if you and I were invited to Forrest Gump's Christmas party?
Mm.
Okay? All right.
Okay,
And
okay.
Forrest just starts at, you know where I'm going with this?
No, I'm
You
not
know?
really. I'm
And
excited. I'm yeah.
if Santa would have invited you to come over to his house on Christmas, Forrest ain't coming. The guy's he's got everything ass backwards. He shoots the gun too quickly. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is Sweden's Christmas starts like as if Forrest Gump was hosting the party. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I'm not going to get any deeper than that. I think we all know where I'm going. Yeah.
So if is Lieu-
Yeah.
is Lieutenant Dan gonna be there?
Yeah. He did his job. He shot the shit out of those people. Yeah, man.
But he's there
He's there. He has
with
no
or without
legs, and now
legs?
he's got.
No legs. Okay. Yeah.
Who do you think got him legs? I shipped that shit right down the right down his chimney. Boy,
Hurled
was he
my
on the good
two
list.
prosthetic, hurled
Yeah,
two prosthetic legs down. Merry Christmas, Dan.
they were wrapped that bows and everything. It was great.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember him. He was
Mhm.
happy.
Okay. So I got to ask you. So what you're telling
Well,
me is that you, when I
what's
was
your
a kid,
favorite?
when I was a kid, what you're telling me is that you never came to my house. It was an imposter.
if he was there on the 24th, he was an imposter. If you saw the gifts on the 25th in the morning, I came. If the
Damn.
gifts were not there, you must have been a bad kid because the only one that came to your house is the imposter. You had to make up for it. Your parents knew that you screwed up down the line and you couldn't make the list, so they hired an imposter to take my position. Hence, your mom and dad knew I wasn't coming.
Oh
You
man, that
understand?
hurts.
That's
That
why there was
hurts.
no gifts on the 25th. And
That's a tough pill to swallow.
you've been doing well.
Hmm.
You've been doing cowboy.
All
Stay up
right.
there. Just a couple more days left. Hmm?
Yeah. So you were about to ask a question before. What's my favorite something?
What's your holiday Christmas film? Your favorite
Uh,
one?
that's a tough one because I think with the kids we do enjoy watching Home Alone 1 and 2. A couple of years
Mm.
ago, I actually, for the first time, got to watch the Polar Express. I had avoided that movie mostly because I just
Mm.
thought the animation looked kind of lame. But then we watched it, and I actually thought it was really good. It's very Christmassy. The music is really good, and it's it's a good movie. But I don't know. My
Do you
favorite
have it?
Christmas movie is probably
Do you have a movie though that's not so American greeting card? In other words, like not so you know, Walmart or Walmart special.
Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Is that a Christmas movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Is
I'm telling you, uh, dude, underground
there a
death
scene?
fights in Hong Kong with Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know,
Uh,
doing the dim mak
uh,
and it's Christmas all the way from start to finish. I promise you. Merry Christmas.
Me and Mrs. Santa, we haven't seen that one. We'd
No,
have to watch that one.
you
I'm
should
gonna
go
put that
for it.
on the list.
Yeah,
Check it.
that it's a classic.
Santa likes the Hateful Eight. I like that one. That's a good Christmas movie.
It's a
The
good, yeah.
Mexican is on piano.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to play Silent Night on the piano.
Yeah.
So Clinton likes to admit that in his films, that one is a Christmas one.
Mm.
When he starts playing Silent Night, and Samuel Jackson is telling the story how he shot the gentleman's son sitting across from him, that's when the Christmas starts. Check
Mm.
that one out. Mrs. Santa and I, we like that one.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta admit, I do have a soft spot for Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way. I actually thought that was was kind of fun with Arnold and where he's out to get that action figure for his kid.
I think every single person out there that's ever tried to find a gift for their loved ones, it kind of feels like that at
Mm.
some point. Yeah, I mean,
But you gotta
when you're
you gotta
camping
think the
outside the mall.
but that doesn't exist anymore the same way that it used to. I remember I remember when I was a kid when Turtles came out. My dad, he was sent around like all of Copenhagen to find whatever the Leonardo figure I wanted the most or whatever. And he would like tell me stories about how he went to like 50 different toy shops and stood in line and whatever and got like somebody to let him know like, hey man, the word on the street is that if you go to this store, you can blah blah blah. But nowadays, people order all their shit online. Nobody goes to.
Yeah, it's no, they should go to the mall because it set Christmas on fire, if you know what I mean. It set it off in the right way and always in the humblest way.
Mm,
Now you have to rely on the drive, the post office, and then the warehouse that supplies it. Yeah, I
mm,
mean, before it was like it was already at the store. If you got first, or if you happened to get there at a lucky time, you got the gift. You know what I mean?
Mm,
If you
mm.
prioritized and got there early enough, you got it. There was ways to do it correctly.
No,
You know what
but
I mean?
not
Waiting
even
at the
that.
last minute is not the correct manner.
I
You know what
think
I mean?
there was a sense of pride in it. When I was younger, I loved going out and browsing around stores, finding something for whatever, whatever person, my brother or my mom or a friend or whatever. But as time kind of passed, you just got comfortable but with sitting at home just pressing click on the add to shopping cart, next thing shopping cart. Oh man, I spent 30 minutes and I managed to fix all my Christmas shopping, and it's 27th of November.
Wasn't there a time in 20 wasn't there a time when you and I went to the mall during Christmas and we walked around that time in Stockholm?
Dude, we went to that mall many times. We were like yeah, I think we've been there together at least like 15 times. I can't I can't tell, man.
That's we were there.
Back in the day when we'd go to malls, the heart and soul of a mall was always the record store. You would browse around in different shops, but the main place was always the record store.
True.
I
So
miss
true.
that. I miss that. Nowadays, what's the heart of a mall? Literally, I can't figure it out. It's
Mm.
like
So true.
cafe and cafes, and it's like there's more restaurants and cafes than there are actually shops, stores to buy stuff at. I
Yeah,
miss record stores.
you always got vinyl or a CD for Christmas, and that was always cool. Yeah, and
Dude, I got a cassette with Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark one year.
oh, nice, dude. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you because you were being a bit of I don't know. I don't know. You kind of made me feel a bit bad because you asked me a while ago what was the first cassette I ever got, and
Mm.
I told you I got Madonna's True Blue
Oh.
and Michael Jackson's Bad.
Mm.
And we're talking 80s. The question was in the 80s. Now you were being like super cool and you go like, "Oh, well, my first one was Aerosmith, Get a Grip." But I'm going to tell you to get a grip because that can't be true because Get a Grip came out in what, like 93, 94? It's a 90s album. And so what was your first cassette? Now be
Uh,
honest. Be honest.
no, no. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It was between Aerosmith. Well, I can. The Aerosmith thing was. I was a late bloomer when it came to music because my parents didn't introduce me to it until that that late. But my uncle gave me an 8 track back in the day that sat in its car, and that was Kiss, and it was yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's actually my first music ever. Was my uncle gave me a Kiss 8 track. Yeah, well, it was for. But I
Who
mean,
would
if but when my mother, uh, Mrs. Um, you know, Miss
okay.
Kringle,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she when she took me to the record store, I got Def Leppard,
Okay.
Santa Santa Leopard on the sled. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
I
So,
got
so, but okay, because so if Def Leppard, they came out started out what, in early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, whatever. And so it's
yeah.
not that long ago. And I mean, you've been around for what, a couple of hundreds of years. So I do think there's something odd about, your mom dragging your old ass to a mall,
Yeah,
you being like 435, and then
the late
your son
told you.
have your first cassette.
I was a late bloomer, man.
No
There's
shit.
Oh, shit! There's always a late bloomer when it comes to sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, I'm a late bloomer,
Yeah.
but
But you started out with Kiss. You started out with Kiss. When
I'm a
you were
kiss.
like when you were 420.
Yeah, we had an 8 track on the sled, and my uncle it got me the Kiss one. You know,
Okay. So
that's
so before that, all the only kind of music you'd hear was like elves singing Christmas carols or what?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It gets fucking insane after so long. They're slapping butts and high fives, rapping and jiggling and jolly, and it gets to you after a while. You know.
Yeah. Can you tell me, that's one thing I've been thinking about a lot, at Santa's workshop. Um,
Uh,
you know, like the elves, do they get work benefits? Do they have insurance? Do they have a union?
uh, the same thing applies to the children in like
China?
in warehouse. It applies the same in the north. There's no
Mhm.
it's just get to work. If things get cross, uh, I bring out the whip.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like
Yeah.
it's technically a whip. It's like a really long red
Candy cane.
vine candy cane. Yeah, not too hard. We don't want to hurt the
No.
little bastards, but out and gets them in the right direction. You know,
Yeah,
sets them straight.
mm, mm.
Miss Savannah, she doesn't like it too much, but what she doesn't know doesn't hurt her. You know what I mean?
No,
I
I
like the
guess
questions.
yeah, I think it's important questions because I do feel like it's a topic that a lot of people they avoid. They only want to hear about was I a good boy this year? Am I going to get the big He-Man castle? But I think
Yeah,
there's more to it.
there's more to it. It takes about 364 days out of the year to get this going. So it's a tight schedule. Tight
Mm.
schedule. So I appreciate these great questions. A lot of questions I get it's just garbage.
What? Okay.
It's
So is
ABC, just
so
garbage
so
question.
so I heard rumors about to make sure that the Alps, work efficiently and as long hours as possible. They get like gingerbread cookies laced with amphetamine. Is that true?
It's false.
It's
If
false.
if
Mm.
any of these bastards were high on drugs, we'd have some heavy problems. I think a lot of them would fall into the trash compactor and some blades. You seen Child's Play 2? Remember in the
Yeah,
warehouse toward when Chucky gets all bladed out?
yeah,
That
yeah,
could very easily happen in the north if any of those guys are high. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
Or
strictly
they run butt naked into the snow and just freeze to
yeah.
death. It's terrible.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're straight edge in the north.
Well,
100% straight edge.
that means a lot to me. I'm happy because I was actually, that was the thing that was worrying me a lot, because,
Yes.
elves are very dear to me. I think
Yeah.
about them a lot, and I just want to, it's good for me to know that they're not on amphetamine. It's just,
No. They're sober, they're clean. They might get whipped once or twice, but in the end they're doing all right. No complaints up here.
no. Okay.
None here.
So have you have you ever thought about getting like Chinese elves?
Oh, funny one. No,
Hey,
they would just do it wrong. We would have a lot of
what
inventory.
what do you mean? What do you mean wrong? They would not do one
Yeah,
single miss. No, dude. Then you could upgrade the whole workshop because suddenly you could have elves that was making iPhones.
Mm.
just like super high grade technological stuff.
We've tried. We've tried. We've tried. We watch the movies. There's a good one um called Elf with Mr. Will Ferrell.
Mm,
It's like that. You know what I mean? Or when
mm,
you see there was a time I got really angry with the elves. There was there was a video scene in the Christmas movie called Scrooge with
mm.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And there was a scene when Santa came out with an Uzi
Mm,
and a machine gun,
mm.
and we got evil up there north, real evil.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, Sweden came down, FBI, ICE. We handled them pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, because I'm
There's a
just
little
seeing.
clip.
I'm just seeing like I'm seeing a lot of opportunities in Santa moving in on the tech market because it's not only,
Yeah,
dude, we're not only talking phones, you could start you could start. I'm sure there's people around the world that wants like night vision goggles and cruiser missiles and stuff like that for Christmas. And you could move in on
we
that
don't do
market with no what?
we do it for the money. We're just goodwill. We give to to everyone. Those the ones in the Asia in the Far East, they just want money. It's just money, stock market brokers and people. They want more pension. They want after hour bonuses. Can't
Yeah. No,
can't be done.
I okay. Well, I do appreciate your love for your craft and the fact that you don't want to water it out
I
with
appreciate that.
like expanding like Santa's wish team move store. It's respect for that.
Bef-
I love that.
Before I forget, I'd like to ask you.
Mm.
What kind of toy would you like on your wish list this year? What would it be?
Mm.
What would you big guy to bring down to you? Huh? What would you
I
like, Thomas?
oh,
And you say my lap right now.
can I
Right, well,
can
I'm
I
sitting
and
big
any wish goes. Any
red.
wish goes.
Yeah. Big red velvet chair. I got a little Viagra in this coffee mug, and now you
Yeah.
can sit on my lap and ask any gift, any toy
Oh
that
man.
you.
Oh,
Um,
you just you're so good at setting up this whole like scenario. I'm just visualizing this whole thing, and it man, it's getting me emotional here just thinking about it. But any toy, any toy, dude, I would just love a classic, like the double set where you would get He-Man and Battle Cat in one box. I would love that. And
mm,
and then as an alternative, I would love the I'm not sure if it was called the same in the US, but the Sega Mega Drive system.
okay.
Do you
Yeah.
remember that? That was like the
Yeah.
16-bit. That was like the competitor to the Super NES system. That was
Yeah, yeah, the Golden Axe was great on that.
oh yeah, Golden Axe, man. Cool.
Wasn't that a four-player? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
I
a
think he
four-player co-op?
yeah, I think it was like one of my favorite games, but I'm actually not sure that was on the Sega though. But I loved Final Fight. Remember that one?
Mm,
The
The
side-scrolling beat 'em up.
16-bit.
Yeah, Double Dragon. There were some
Yeah.
good games, man.
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
yeah.
The kicker was Sonic, obviously. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't like Sonic. I
But
never
there
liked
was
Sonic.
no,
No, it
no,
was. I
I didn't
felt
either.
Sonic was. I felt like it was all about the speed. Like they put so much focus on. Oh, it went faster and faster and faster, and it was just one loop after another, and just ramming into all those golden coins or the rings. I didn't feel like it had a whole lot of substance. but maybe it's just me.
No,
I'm not.
no,
I know a lot. You know,
it's more like it was like Marble Madness. It's like a
yeah,
marble game in circles
like a
and
pinball.
round, and it's not
It
really.
was a pin. It was a pinball
Yeah,
game, side-scrolling pinball game. Yeah, yeah.
right.
No, I
That's what it
wasn't.
was. We
Yeah,
time we were easy to be we were easy to be you know tricked by easy gameplay, and that was too easy. So I understand. I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that one.
I'm not.
It wasn't a
Dude.
good.
I'm not sure about that. That we were tricked by easy gameplay. See, some years ago, I dug up my old consoles and found my old, game cartridges,
Mm,
and I hooked them up. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna play me some Mega Man 2 now. I'm gonna play some Punch Out.
mm,
I'm gonna play some Ghosts and Goblins. And
mm,
I remember playing these games and not thinking about it being too hard. You just played and you just adapted to the difficulty that you were presented with.
mm.
But when I play those games now, they are ruthless. They are tough as nails, man. Those games, they are so unfair, but it pushed you
True.
to do better. Because nowadays when you play games, you're like being babied through the whole game. It's like like in Mario or whatever, you had 3 lives. That was it. Done. You'd get lucky and get like a one up here and there, but that was it. Nowadays, you can die a million times
Mm.
and just respawn the same place you died. The concept of having lives doesn't exist in games anymore.
No.
That's a bummer. I think that
The
that kids need to be challenged a bit more. I guess that's why they got like the Dark Souls stuff, because that's pretty difficult, at least to me. I can't. It's too much. If you just get like super awkward silence here, that's great. I'm staring at you through my. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Dude, Santa, get
we're having
did
the storms coming right on through again.
fuck off for real?
It's the damn blizzard, that north blizzard.
God damn it!
You know,
God damn
we gotta fight through that storm.
it! We've been
There was
really unfortunate, but I guess when there's a storm at the North Pole, it's it's not easy to get a good connection.
no, it's horrible. It's
It's
horrible.
horrible. Is it a new thing for you, Santa, to be using the internet? I guess you've been used to, like, what, do you even have landlines up there, or is it more like you write a note and staple it onto an elf and send him off to wherever it needs to go?
Pigeons are good. Um,
Pigeons on the North Pole.
yeah, it's like any type of bird is a messenger up here. You know what
They
I mean?
don't they don't freeze. I've
No,
never heard of. Listen, Santa, I'm sorry, but I think you're full of shit right now. I'm sorry, but birds on the North Pole.
yeah,
What?
any reptile amphibians are pretty good at messengers as well.
Okay, yeah. You, see, you could just told me that you stuffed the note into the beak of a penguin, and it would carry it on to wherever it needed to go. But no, you started talking about pigeons and
No,
reptiles.
we
What?
get
What?
we get our message out pretty clean these days with technology. It's a lot more easier than it was before. But yeah, there is some disconnections from time to time when it comes to the weather forecast up here.
Yeah.
But still, we get our message out quite well through the kids,
Okay.
through
So one
through
thing
pet.
I would like to ask you, Santa, as a final sort of thing before we wrap it up, is I just kind of want to get in on the Christmas food traditions that you're following. I mean, because I'm in Denmark right now, and the classic Danish Christmas table usually consists, like the heart of the of the of the of the whole meal is a roast, and either it's a pork roast or it's a
Mm,
duck roast. That's usually
mm,
like the two main things, and then we have like the uh rødkål, which is red cabbage that's like pickled, and
mm,
we have potatoes. We have the brown sauce.
mm,
That's like the then there's variations, some people they like having all sorts of fish and stuff. But I'm not a fan of the
mm.
Swedish Christmas table because I think it's just like the same stuff that they eat all year round. They got their
True,
little meatballs, they got their
true.
little mini sausages,
Yeah.
and then who the hell thought like, oh man, Christmas equals um potatoes and anchovies in a goddamn dish. That's like, what's Christmas about that? Have you ever had anchovies on the North Pole?
Yeah, no, we don't eat that. No, that
No,
doesn't go good
no.
with peppermint
Eggnog, eggnog.
and mint. Stuff's
Yeah.
garbage, and but I'm with you on that. We love duck. Santa loves
Mm,
duck. Love duck. Duck's so
mm,
good for the holidays.
mm.
Turkey's good for the holidays. Um, you know, Candy, chocolates.
Oh,
Those are that's good. Pie's
mm,
fantastic. Lemon meringue, key
mm.
apple pie.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you go too far, you lost the concept. Just have like two or three dishes, out there for everyone to just nibble and grab. You
Mm.
don't you don't have to have a whole banquet. You don't have to have as we say in Sweden, a smorgasbord.
No, dude. Which reminds me, on a complete side, that this is just the thing that says a lot about like the absolute insanity of Swedish culture. The smörgåstårta. Have you ever tried it?
Mm. Yeah, it
Dude, that
smells like
thing,
Michigan at South.
dude, that thing is insane. And I'll tell you, I have a theory. I have a theory. So I think at some point, way back in
Mm,
Sweden, it was some kid's birthday. And mommy and daddy had promised this little kid that they were gonna make him a cake. And they realized, the night before, shit, we don't have anything for the cake. We don't have any vanilla cream or fruits or whatever. But we got all this
mm,
stuff. We got all this sandwich stuff, right?
mm,
Okay, we got to make what we got. So they just, you know, put out a few slices of toast bread and squirted some mayo on, and then they
mm,
put on some ham and some more mayo and some shrimps
mm,
and then some bread and then some more mayo, and then it's like, whoop de fucking do, here's your cake. But it's horrible
mm,
because the asshat who decided that for something like that we're going to use the cheapest white bread possible, and they
mm,
they make that shit and then they store it overnight.
mm,
There's the whole concept of having bread in there would be to give it a bit of substance, but since it's been like lying there and sucking in all the juices from this stuff, the bread turns into goo as well. So basically, you're just eating a big pile of goo. You're eating mayonnaise with more mayonnaise on and a little bit of shrimps. It's terrible. It's a terrible dish, but the Swedes
I
love it.
agree.
They're insane.
I agree. In the North, we call it duck food. It's like the same stuff you throw in a pond. Yeah, man. It's just it's just duck food. That's it. It's wet. It's you can literally, if you put it together, you can just form a snowball out of it. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Then
it's
and
like
just
Play-Doh.
yeah, it's garbage. Put
And
some
they love it.
on that.
And they love
No,
it
they love it. They love mayonnaise. You
because
know.
they look, when you look at them, you go like, oh wow, this thing looks impressive. It looks like a birthday cake. And
Yeah, but it's
I'm sure that little kid who got his mountain of mayonnaise, he was
Mm.
just, it was like salty tears dripping down, and he was sitting there and he hated it.
Some countries force religion upon their children. Swedes force mayonnaise on theirs. You know what I mean?
mayonnaise and mayonnaise and lines.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, before we get going, I just want to double check here, and you know, I'm
Don't
gonna
mention don't mention any of the more stuff, on the list.
no, just
Yes.
I have a list here, just checking it twice, and I
Making
just
sure
found
if
out.
I've been naughty and nice.
No, and I have here two action figures, He-Man and Green Tiger, right?
Yeah, well,
And
yeah, well,
Sega's 16-bit with a little bit of
yes,
Golden Axe might
yes,
be coming your
yes.
way. You know, we're gonna get that done, buddy. Get that done.
Unless I manage to become, like do something that will put me on the naughty list in the next couple of days.
Well, like I said,
Shit
if
happens.
if it's not if it's not there, it just didn't work out for you. You know what I mean? It just didn't
Mm,
work out.
mm. So, but I should expect these things to arrive by the morning of the 25th.
25th in the morning, when your little ass gets out of bed, you're gonna be one happy camper. I can tell you that.
When my 110 kilo ass is gonna it's getting dragged out of bed in my little Ninja Turtles pajamas, crawling
You're
down and
not as
saying,
big as
"Mommy,
man.
Daddy."
You're not as big as me. I've put on about at least 200 kilos in the last 11 months. Pretty bad.
Oh, I was about to say you slimmed down a bit.
Was there? I was there. I was there in the in the Crusades way back in the day. That's a long story
What
for another time.
with the Knights Templar?
Yo, we were rocking the house back in those times. Santa
Oh,
was about 65 kilos back in those days.
shredded with a six pack, carrying a claymore sword around.
Those were the good times. Those were the days. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Those were the days.
dude, I can't wait. I can't wait to do an an Easter special. You you can choose
Oh,
if you can choose if you want to be the Easter bunny, a giant chicken, or Jesus. I don't care.
I I know the Easter Bunny quite well. So I'll get him on the phone closer to the holidays. So but I know Jesus, baby Jesus as well.
Yeah,
So you might get lucky. You might get both of them on the platform or just one.
yeah. I can't wait. I
You
can't
know what I mean?
wait. Well,
Yeah.
Santa,
Yeah, yeah,
Santa, thank you so
yeah.
much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It
Pleasure,
was a
good
real
boy.
pleasure. Yeah, and
Right.
to be able to have Santa on my tiny little podcast, it means the world to me. You saved Christmas this year.
I do remember before I go, the
Mm.
reason why I jumped on this podcast,
Hmm.
especially for this evening, was because back in 1988, when you came to the mall, you were just like this little guy. I
Hmm.
remember you sat on my lap and you were a little afraid and you pissed all over yourself and it got on me too, but it was all right and I forgive you for that. So I've never forgotten that moment. And I just wanted to say, you're still a good boy, and I
I was just,
too, buddy. I love you.
but yeah, and I do really enjoy and appreciate you reminding me that as 16-year-old Thomas, I was sitting on Santa's lap, pissing on your leg.
Yeah,
Uh,
see, those stories, they
mm,
just never get old, you know? They never get
mm.
old. Well, my son, I got a lot of things to do up here. I
Take
got
care.
shit tons of things to
Yeah,
do.
go whip
I'll
some
see you.
elves. Stay safe, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Got to work. Back to
Ho ho
work.
ho ho ho.